Michael Kerr, the first item on the agenda today, a very interesting one and a lot of debate about it. Building Douglas Committee. This sounds like an amazing idea. Tell us about it.
It's something that we've been discussing since the new term, and it's been stalled and hasn't progressed because of COVID and the issues we've had. But after the last meeting where Councillor Zamataro brought up about transparency, I thought it was important that we bring this to the forefront and make it happen. So the Building Douglas Committee, which is a unofficial version of, but it is official at the same time, it's quite hard to explain in short terms, but it's having another council meeting where it's not so strict. We don't have to rely on the standing orders, and the people that are involved in the matters we're discussing have an opportunity to register, come in, and they get 3 minutes to have their say in front of the councillors. So we get to get a first-hand personal experience from the people that are actually involved, rather than just having to rely on reports from the staff. It gives a personalised sense to it. It brings in the transparency. It allows us to see the people that are actually involved in it if they wish to come in and have their say. And it just makes us feel more comfortable when we're making these decisions. And that's what the Building Douglas Committee is about, is being more open, giving people more opportunity to come in and speak to the councillors before their matters been heard.
This is normal down south at council meetings. I've been to many council meetings down south where the public are invited to speak for several minutes. So it's nothing new there. Is it a matter of councils like ours catching up now?
Well, it can be quite daunting. It's scary when people come in and can be saying something that could be confronting to the councillors. So you do open yourself up to these people coming in to telling you emotionally how they're feeling as well. So some councils can be quite resistant to it, but I think it's something that is done in a lot of other places, and it's something we absolutely have to look at. We have a very passionate Shire here. We have a lot of people that like to be heard, they want to be heard, and they've got a right to be heard when we're using their ratepayer money to do projects. So it's really important that I believe that if people have that opportunity, it gives them more ownership of council as well, and I think that's really important.
Councillor Nolly and Zamataro didn't seem to get it. There was a lot of questions from both those councillors. One of the comments they made, these people haven't been trained, but they don't need to be trained. They're members of the public.
Well, we're talking, emotionally how this is going to affect people. For example, an item could be coming in where a big resort's being built next door to your house. And of course, the people that live in that house, they're going to be affected by that. And it will give them, and this is hypothetical, of course, gives them an opportunity to come in and have their say how it's going to personally affect them having this big hotel built next door. Which is not something we read on a piece of paper. When the staff do their reports, they do them very legal wise and they're very technical, and it gives all the facts without the grey lines. So this at least gives us an opportunity to bring in some personalised, actual feelings and emotions of how our ratepayers will feel by the decisions we make.
And it puts a face to that agenda item.
Absolutely, it does. That's really important.
Now, we had the second item, a minor change development approval for retirement facility 111 to 119 Port Douglas Road. Can you explain that for us?
Well, it was just a simple change. When it first went through, they said they had to have footpaths in there as well. Looking at numerous other retirement villages of similar styles, they don't have footpaths because there's really not that much traffic going through. So they asked if they could possibly have the footpaths taken out, so it allows them to expand other areas, and that's what's been approved.
Now, you deferred the next one, which is infrastructure change for a limited function facility, Lot 5, 146 Captain Cook Highway at Oak Beach. Why was that deferred?
There's more information's required. The report gave us a lot of details from the staff and the factual information, but we've just believed that there's more to it that we need to look at before we make a formalised decision.
Okay, application to extend currency period for ROL, ROL. One lot into 68 lots. Can you explain that? And let people know too that it's actually the block behind the Seventh-day Adventist and Jehovah's Witness here in Mossman. Mossman, yeah.
That's right. So it's a housing estate in Mossman that was approved by a previous council. Their term is about to expire as far as their contract goes. The council gave them for their development. So they've just put in for a renewal to last for another 6 years. So it gives him permission that, yes, it's still approved. You've got another 6 years before you have to actually start it.
It's in amongst other land that's how would you describe it? It's just land that is used for crops or something like that?
It's just cane land at the moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Now, run for reef funding.
Yeah, so it's a group that's organising a very large event. They've come to us before and showed us their promotional videos that they're using to get funding from state and federal as well.
What is it? Is it a bike or running or?
It's a run, but everyone does it at the same time. So this year, because of COVID, they're sticking to Australia and to New Zealand.
Like
so
a city to bay type
there'll
thing?
be 20 races all happening at the same time. So you're competing with people that are running on the other side of the country. So,
oh, wow.
yeah, so, and of course, they're bringing the attention and funds to the reef, which is well needed. But when they eventually do it, there's going to be races throughout the whole world. So, you'll be timed here in Australia, but where possible at the same time, they'll be running in Japan, and you'll be competing against them as well. And so as it works its way around the world with the time zones, everyone will be raced and it'll be based on their times, but you're competing with someone who's running in America as well, the same distance. So there'll be big scoreboards at each of the events showing each areas of what's happening and what times you're trying to beat. Fantastic idea, and it all brings back to Port Douglas, where all the final event will be eventually. For this year, it's where all the presentations and the big party will be for all the winners of the 20 that they're doing next year.
That'll bring some more money into our economy as well. Sounds like an amazing idea. River Improvement Trust Fund. Now, I hear one of the staff members saying 6.3 million has already gone into our Douglas Shire with this.
That's right. Terrain does a wonderful job when it comes to the river restoration works, and this is part of the thing. We're allowing them to do it rather than applying for funding ourselves. So much easier. They know what they're doing. Let them do it. They're doing a great job. As you said, they've already spent $6.8 million. They've managed to raise the funds to do this work, and let them do it.
And what is the work they do?
It's river restoration where there's been erosion, farmers are losing property, etc. They do the works to regrow plants and to build it back so that it stops eroding.
Okay, now when I first heard this, I went, oh no, electric quad bikes, 4 Mile Beach.
Okay.
I'll
correct you straight away. It's electric quad bike.
Oh, sorry, electric quad bike.
Yes, not bikes.
I don't care. As soon as I heard it, I went, "Oh no, what are you doing?" But it's a magnificent story about a lovely man, and you've helped him out. Just explain it.
Exactly. He's a gentleman that's lived here for over 30 years. He's always enjoyed the region, walking along the beach, and he's at a place now where he's unable to get down to the beach to walk along it. He's tried various different types of wheelchairs. They haven't worked for him, so he's come up with this concept of using an electric quad bike. It doesn't make a noise. It's not going fast. His carer has to walk beside him, so it's not going to be hooning on the beach. It is a special circumstance, and it's coming with conditions. So, as I said in the meeting, this is not an open slather that we're allowing quad bikes in Port Douglas. So, before they even start on that one, I'm nailing it on the head right here and now. This is a gentleman with a disability who loves the environment, loves walking on the beach, and he wants to be able to at least still go about it in the last few years of his life. And why are we to stop him? Let's let him do it.
Yes, that was unanimous. Smart meters you've deferred?
Yes, we're putting through the tender for the contractor. There's a couple other issues still that are sitting there that their staff are trying to work out at the moment before we sign off on it, and we want further information on that, so we've just deferred that to the next meeting.
Lots of housekeeping as well. The financial report, how are we going?
Well, we're going good. I mean, it's anticipated that we'll be 400,000, I believe it was, under the budget that we set, so that lowers the deficit of what we ran this year, which is fantastic effort on the staff. They've saved 400,000 across the board for the year. We're anticipating that's what it is. Once those final figures come through, that'll certainly be made public. But the staff are certainly doing a fantastic job, and it's been a hard year with all the things that we've done for COVID, and giving people relief on their licenses and all those things, and the ferry especially. We dropped a lot of ferry revenue. So it's important the staff are acknowledged for the work they do.
Water restrictions level amendment. So what does that mean? And how do you see us, because we did get a little bit of rain, so we're not as bad as some years.
Yeah, luckily this year we're tracking okay. We've still got a fair bit of water there, which is great. But these new restrictions at least allow us to go into warning stages. So if we can foresee that it's going to happen, we can change from a 0 to a 1 and start educating people. This is happening, this is coming up, you need to stop using as much water, start reducing it naturally before we enforce the restrictions.
Sale of council land, and I take it that you have council land you can sell, and this might This might be for people who want to have maybe aged care, retirement village, or but also attracting people to the Shire. We need more people here, don't we?
Absolutely. There was some comments that within the operational plan, I think it was that Councillor Nolly brought up. These are things that we've discussed in workshops where the staff have brought a list of vacant blocks that council owns that, we could possibly sell if we want to use for different infrastructure. I'm not a big one of selling land just for that. I like to know that if we're selling it, we're selling to someone who's going to do something on it and something specific that will increase employment, increase accommodation, do something for our economy rather than just them holding on to a block of land somewhere else. Retirement, absolutely, it's imperative that we start looking after our older generations. It's at a point we've got older people living in 2-story apartments or flats in Port Douglas. There comes a point staircases are become too difficult. We need to have appropriate, proper housing for our elderly people in both Port Douglas and Mossman so they can see their last years out in comfortable, safe surroundings.
Because we've missed the boat on this before, haven't we?
Well, I think we have. There was a gentleman who wanted to put a retirement village in Port Douglas. It was quite controversial because it was on the wrong side of the road. A lot of people don't believe there should be any development on that side of the highway. There's going to come a point that we're going to have to. That's land that doesn't flood. It wouldn't be affected by tide inundations from cyclones, etc. It's a safe place for them. So that would have been a fantastic opportunity for a safe place for retirees to be and live out their lives in appropriate type of housing. We've missed that one, but let's see what the future brings.
Another interesting meeting. Thank you, Mayor Kerr.
Thank you very much. Don't forget, if you're going to do it in Douglas.